Greetings, the Hijabi Gamer here, and let's talk about Bungie. It's been a while since I've made a video, and given everything going on, this seemed like the right time to start. After all, I'm well known for being a huge Destiny player. I have thousands of hours of both games under my belt. I'm probably the last, if not one of the last people left on YouTube still making Xur location videos for original Destiny. I even recently restarted the campaign for the millionth time and have been live streaming it because I love the original campaign. So it seemed like the right thing to do, especially since you're not going to be getting any Red War campaign B-roll from me. Seriously, anyone who doesn't play Destiny 2, but they start talking about Destiny 2, they always have to show footage from the Red War. It's been years, people. Please, please, I'm begging you. Forsaken. At least Forsaken. Anyway, before I start this video, I just want to start with a disclaimer, because I'm going to sound harsh, but I don't want to sound like I'm being unsympathetic towards the people who've recently lost their jobs. It's not easy. I know. I've experienced it myself, and I get it. You know, I was furloughed during the coup, and it was from a job I love, and at the very least, in my case, I knew that eventually I would be brought back, or at least I hoped. There was hope that I would be brought back. We didn't know for certain, but there was still the very big possibility I would be called back. These people are not going to be called back. So I get it. It was horrible when I got furloughed. Before that, I had never been forced out of a job. Every single job I'd left, it was on my own terms. For example, I had a job at high school, and it was for students. And when I graduated, obviously I left the position. In addition, I have worked in circumstances where people around me are being laid off in large numbers. You know, a couple months back, a lot of retail chains were letting people go. So one day you'd have people, and the next day people were gone. And you'd find out, later, because they wouldn't tell you anything. You'd just be like, oh, so-and-so asked for so-and-so. And then they'd be like, oh, well, they don't work here anymore. Oh, since when? A friend of mine who I'd been working with for years, his position was suddenly eliminated, and he was transferred. He was lucky. He got to be transferred to a different store in a different position. The same with another friend of mine. But a lot of people just were gone. So I get it, and I don't want to sound harsh or unsympathetic. It isn't easy. But at the same time, everybody is running around on the internet right now screaming like chickens with their heads cut off, going, oh my God, layoffs at Bungie, and no one is really looking into it. And if there's one thing I've learned from being on the internet all these years, it's if everybody is screaming one thing, question it. Because when the mob is screaming, they're usually very superficial and emotional and rarely dig deeper than the, oh my God, layoffs, panic, layoffs, Destiny 2. So while I'm going to sound harsh at times, I'm not unsympathetic. And just really trying to be more logical about things. Now, for example, like looking into who was laid off. Only one person that I've seen so far, now correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, maybe other people have said the same thing, but only one person so far has connected the recent layoffs with the whole Latin at Bungie thing. And that is Ryan Cannell from RK Outpost, which is why I'm not saying people who don't play Destiny 2 shouldn't talk about it, because he doesn't play Destiny 2, but he made a very valid point. He connected the Latinx thing with the layoffs, and when you look at who was fired, that's actually makes sense. Among the people fired, according to the departments who fired, are the social media and community managers. You mean the idiots who posted that and turned Bungie into a laughingstock? Everybody was laughing at Bungie after the Latin at Bungie post. Everybody. I know people at work who don't play Destiny 2, know almost nothing about Bungie and don't care, but even they had heard about that and thought it was stupid. If you are posting Latinx, you shouldn't be working as a community manager or social media expert. Hell, even if things weren't financially difficult at Bungie, they should have been fired. Everyone on the internet was laughing at Bungie. And that isn't the first time where somebody has posted something stupid on Bungie's social media. One incident that stands out to me, because I got a lot of hate, because at the time I was more involved on Twitter. Now I just post corpus stuff or stuff out of Warframe or Destiny. But the whole Roe v. Wade. Nobody cares what a video game developer thinks about Roe v. Wade. I'm sorry. And the response from people was, oh, well, they care about their employees. Really? Did you ask every single one of them? In addition, again, even if it was you care about your employees, fine. Donate to a politician. But posting about it on Twitter? Get excited about your game. Talk about your game. Get people hyped about your game. Talk about people streaming your game. Engage with your player base. Hell, share fan art. I don't know, anything about your game. But Roe v. Wade? Yeah, hell, so definitely. These are the people you shouldn't have been keeping around. I mean, if I were a manager at Bungie and one of my employees came to me and said, you know what? I'm deeply concerned about the whole Roe v. Wade circumstances. I would have looked at them and said, then go talk to your politician, but keep it out of work. No one I worked with was talking about Roe v. Wade because it doesn't belong at work. Least of all, it doesn't belong being posted out by a video game developer. So yes, maybe they were in fight. This was their opportunity to get rid of, I'm sorry, don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way out. You clearly don't know how to do your job. Because, again, you turned Bungie into a laughingstock. Another department that was gutted was apparently the HR department, or so that's what I've heard. And you know what, again, if you look at the recent history at Bungie, you wouldn't be surprised. An HR person supposedly is filing a lawsuit against Bungie over discrimination. Now, this is going to sound odd coming from me, but everything at this point is discrimination. Look, I don't know the details. I don't work for Bungie. I don't have any insiders at Bungie, so I don't know the details. On the other hand, if there's anything we've learned in the last couple of years, it's that literally everything is discrimination at this point. You sneeze in the wrong direction, it's discrimination. I wear the wrong color hijab and someone's going to come up with a reason to call it discrimination. I've been called horrible things because I don't like the Rings of Power. Or I didn't like the direction of the story of Destiny 2. Or you name it, I don't like the Marvels. I've been called horrible things that aren't true, but because everything is discrimination at this point. The only problem is the genuine, real discrimination is now buried and nobody takes it seriously. So honestly, at the end of the day, I'm going to believe the senior Bungie executive over the HR person. And I'm not surprised the HR department got gutted. Hell, I've mentioned this in live streams before, numerous times where on the outside, it looks like it's discrimination, but when you really examine it, it isn't. From my own life, if I were the type of person to scream discrimination, I could have done it, but I'm not the type of person. And when you really look at it, it isn't. The best example being, I talk about how whenever I go on a plane, my bags are always searched. Now, people are going to be like, oh, wow, it's because you're Muslim. It's because you're wearing hijab. It's because you have a... No. You want to know why? It's because I'm carrying like a dozen electronics. I'd be more surprised if they didn't search my bag. When I fly in a plane, it's usually because I'm going to Egypt and I'm about to spend 2 weeks on the beach in Egypt. So I'm going to bring every handheld video game electronic I have. But I don't trust it in the cargo area of the plane, so I'm going to put it in my carry-on. Switch, NVIDIA Shield Portable, Game Boy Advance, 3DS, PS Vita, iPad. I have more than one PS Vita. I'm going to bring them both, of course. So I'm pretty sure the guys at the airport are looking at my bag like, dear God, woman, are you trying to open an electronics store? So yeah, on the outside, yeah, people are going to be like, oh my God, discrimination. But when you really look at it, it isn't. I've told numerous stories like that. So I'm not surprised the HR department got gutted. In addition, so another thing that people have been talking a lot about is Michael Salvatore. Now, before anybody comes at me, I love Michael Salvatore's music, okay? Huge fan. I have spent hours and hours listening to the music from Destiny and Destiny 2. I have all of the albums downloaded on my phone. I have multiple playlists of my favorite tracks from all of them, especially Rise of Iron. I love Rise of Iron. I can recognize music from original Destiny when I play Destiny 2 and even know them by the name of the track One of my favorites is Young Wolf. So he's a huge fan. But while everyone is screaming, oh my God, they fired Michael Salvatore, nobody's making some other points. For example, the fact that he's 69 years old. All he did was post that he had gone fishing. That doesn't necessarily mean something negative. We know that he had already composed the music for the final shape. And after the final shape, it's going to be episodes. And you have like 5 or 6 albums of music. They probably don't need more. But even if they hadn't, and they still need a ton of music, it doesn't necessarily mean that it was bad, that he's gone fishing for negative reasons. Again, he's 69. Maybe he wants to spend time with his family. Maybe he just wants to take a break. We don't know. That's why I'm saying everyone is screaming about, oh my God, they fired Michael Salvatore. And not a single person said, he's 69. He's composed so much music, he probably doesn't need to work another day in his life. He probably can retire comfortably. I'm just saying, I don't know that's a fact either. I'm just playing devil's advocate and saying maybe there's more to it than we see. Maybe when he realized the financial situation at Bungie, he said, you know what? I'm 69. Give me my severance. I'll retire. This should help the company. Since I think, wasn't even like one of the original founders of Bungie? We don't know the details. So while I understand things are stressful at Bungie. Even if you got rid of people who you probably should have gotten rid of a long time ago. Just watching people around you losing their jobs is not fun. Even if it's someone you hate who's losing their job, it's still not fun. So I'm not trying to minimize the emotional side of what's going on. But maybe we shouldn't also be running around in a panic screaming about just layoffs. Now, I understand people's concerns about the state of Destiny 2. I am not surprised that player engagement is down. I've been saying it for months. And people have said, no, Kat, you're wrong. Look at the numbers. And I'm like, no, it's definitely down. And there's a less positive feeling about the game. I mean, the microtransaction thing. I was speaking about it a year ago, okay, when the Season of the Lost last year, I spoke about the event card. But you know what's also interesting? I found out while all of this is happening, they made a lot of money on the event card. So I can't blame them then. Or that, I agree. They should be dropping the price of the expansions, making more of them free. Destiny 2 is not free to play. Destiny 2 is free to try. But if you want to add more players, drop the price of the expansions and give some of them for free. But apparently, they make a lot of money on that. So, am I surprised player engagement is down? No, I'm not. Am I surprised? A lot of people I know are like, yeah, I'm not buying Final Shape. I still haven't pre-ordered it, though I have made clear, if you kill off Nimbus, and you kill him off in a really embarrassing way, I will pre-order Final Shape on Xbox and PC. Hell, I might even get it on PlayStation at this point. If it means that Nimbus dies in a way that everyone is laughing at him, then yes, absolutely. And I know a lot of other people who are like, yeah, I'll buy Final Shape if they kill him off. But a lot of people I know are like, they're not even going to buy Final Shape because they're frustrated after Lightfall. So yes, I am concerned. But I don't know. The other thing I would say is this. People have asked me about the state of Destiny 2 and how do I feel about the future of Destiny 2. And most people haven't pointed this out. Now, a few people have, and they made me realize Destiny 2 is all that Bungie has. Now, when I've pointed that out to people, they've said, well, what about Marathon? Marathon isn't coming out for 2 years. If Bungie wants to make any money, they need to get it from Destiny 2. Destiny 2 is all they have. And they don't even know if that Marathon is going to be a huge success. Personally, I don't think so. Marathon isn't even being made for Destiny players. But I'm not too hopeful about it. Especially, do we know how popular extraction shooters are going to be in 2 years? But, that aside, they need Destiny 2 to work. Delaying the Final Shape, to me, seems hopeful. How many times have we seen games come out where people are like, if they had only delayed it? Maybe they've realized they have problems. Maybe the management have started to listen to the developers who are saying, community sentiment is at its lowest. And so they're like, well, you know what? Maybe we should back up a little and look into things. I'm hopeful because that's just who I am. I miss the days of when I would come home eagerly from work looking forward to playing Destiny 2, where I would spend hours every week doing bounties and just playing Destiny. I actually like Gambit, but I haven't played Gambit in a while because I just don't feel like playing Destiny 2 at this point after Lightfall. It depends on who they kept. If they've kept the people who want to fix the game and make the game successful, the people who work hard and really realize just how bad things are, then I'm hopeful. If, on the other hand, they kept a lot of people whose whole goal is to turn Destiny 2 into a platform for their cause, then I am not hopeful. I hope things get better. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the whole thing. As I said, I'm a little harsh because I cut through the emotional and try to look at things logically. Let me know down below what you think. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I do live stream original Destiny. It's often on sale. Hope to see you in the tower.